All right. Hello, everyone. We're so excited to bring you our Thrive Through the Holidays presentation. And I have a couple of special guests on with me today, and we're going to be collaborating and co-presenting this together. If you don't know me, my name is Coach Corinne Roberts, and I am a certified metabolic genetic health coach. And I also am extremely passionate about the Enneagram. And here with me, I have Dr. Ashley Newman. She owns Mommy Gut Health, and she is also a Go Trim health coach. And I have Linda Dean Hatz, who's a therapist and an Institute of Integrative Nutrition coach, and she owns Nurtured Collective. Do you girls want to say anything before we start uh, um, about your businesses or what you're passionate about?
Sure. So I'm Ashley and I am a certified personal trainer. I'm also like a women's fitness specialist and I have three young children, my youngest being 4 months old and all the way up to six. I have a 6-year-old, a 4-year-old, and a 4 month old. And I'm really passionate about helping like young moms start to feel like themselves again between pregnancy and postpartum, especially since I'm in that state of health as well. So yeah, that's going to kind of be my lens more today as we're going through things, is that crazy part of life.
Love it. Lenny?
My name's Linda. Some people call me Linny. I'm a therapist in the Syracuse upstate area. And one of my passions has really been, and it's grown, I'm on the opposite side of Ashley, where I've got three grown children and really looking at perimenopause and menopause and postmenopausal women and really developing a specialty within that. And within my therapy practice, using genetics and our DNA to give us some answers about our mental wellness. So my lens here today will be kind of from that perspective. And I'm just really excited to be here with the three of us together and everybody here that's on with us.
I love that. We always have to start our presentations because we do own a medical wellness nutraceutical company with the FDA disclaimer that this presentation has not been evaluated by the FDA and the products are not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease. But they might be supportive and helpful during the holidays when we are living in some lack, right? So, having mindful holidays and empowered New Year. I have owned gyms. I owned gyms for over 20 years, and we always ran these 0 pound challenges because everyone has always been obsessed with the scale, right? And I really, being a metabolic health coach, I just want to get people away from that. It's not productive, but the reality is that people do gain 8 to 13 pounds. The last part of the year, we just start losing our mindfulness. And that's why we called it mindful holidays, right? And we want to come into the new year feeling empowered, not like we have to pick up the pieces, right? And so that's really what this whole month is about. And I always say, this month is about presence, not presence, the physical presence. But just about keeping our health, right? Supporting our metabolic health. And that's where we're going to be reframing because we're going to be talking about gaining, not losing, right? What are we gaining by having this presence through the holidays, right? So we aren't just feeling sideswiped at the end of the year like what just happened to me, right? So I used to get really frustrated as a personal trainer, where all my clients would kind of fall away, and we want to give you manageable tools that you can use. And so that's what this presentation is going to be about. Do you girls want to chime in on that at all?
Well, I really love what you say about that because I think, again, as a therapist, mindfulness has so much to do with our mental wellness. And in the stories that we say to ourselves during these, like this last month, maybe even 8 weeks since Thanksgiving, the things that we say to ourselves can do more harm. And that plays into this kind of holding weight and holding, the emotional weight and physical weight. And so what you're talking about here with the metabolic, letting people release that expectation on themselves. And within that, they gain a different perspective and a different sense of being able to get through this next month.
Mhm.
I agree. I love that. I'm sorry. I was just like thinking, I was like,
Mhm.
I don't really need to add anything. That was wonderful.
Oh, yeah. So, with our Strong on Purpose program, our pillars for mindful holidays, we're going to be going over with you our sleep, nutrition, exercise, and stress. And who wants to take the sleep?
I don't
So
mind talking about sleep, but I'm like we were talking about earlier, sleep is, which I feel like I get very good sleep for having a 4 month old, because I'm blessed that she sleeps through the night already. But I do feel like when you, especially with women, I feel like women in general, it doesn't really matter what stage you're in. If you do start having that lack of sleep, like I was looking through this slide and I was like, yes, yes, yes. Like I felt all of this. Like you do feel hungrier. You make, in my opinion, you make poor like food choices during the day. And then you start, like in my experience, you start to feel crabbier and then it starts coming off on everybody else around you. And so it is okay to prioritize the sleep as much as you can, or figuring out what works best for you. And then I've also found in the stage of life I'm in, if I don't get a good night's sleep, then I just need to control the controllables. So I can control putting more protein in my body, drinking more water throughout the day. The way I supplement my body, like I can control those things. And so when you can't get the quality sleep, what can you do to help throughout the rest of the day?
I love that, Ashley. And it is about controlling the controllables. That's my biggest takeaway from what you just said, because sleep does impact so many systems in our body and it raises our insulin, which makes us crave more sugar, right? And our ghrelin hormone, I call it the gremlin, right? That says, feed me, feed me, feed me. So, healthful hacks for sleep like Ashley was talking about. Do you want to go through these, Ashley?
Sure. I mean, I love how it says on here, stick to a normal sleep routine, because I do often feel like a lot of people, if they stay up late, they're like, "Oh, I'm just going to sleep in the morning." But I mean, just like a newborn baby, you try to put them on a sleep schedule. Like you want to get them up at the same time every day because it works better for your body, getting it in a rhythm and a system. And so I feel like it's the same for adults. Like as much as we want to sleep in, it really is more helpful to wake up at the same time every day and have that routine for your body. And then a big thing that I even say to my family all the time is watch your caffeine. We don't have as much, with the alcohol, but with the caffeine, I come from a family of heavy coffee drinkers and they want to be up at like 10 o'clock at night playing cards, drinking coffee. And I'm like, all right. So, those are things, especially on the holidays as you're spending time with family, just be very mindful when you are drinking caffeine, because even if you think it's not disrupting your sleep, it is. So just those are things to just be mindful of. But I love this too because I definitely like making your bedroom your sanctuary. I try like we are big on like no TVs in the bedroom. We do get, my toddlers come rushing in our room at 2 o'clock in the morning. And so we want to have that really comfortable sleep space for anybody. So we have a dark, calm environment. But I feel like, again, just as it is with kids, I feel like it's just as important with adults to have that comfortable, like that great sleeping space. So yeah, that's just what I wanted to say.
I
and I
love all that. And we know as metabolic genetic coaches as well that some people don't even metabolize caffeine and alcohol well. So that's where it doesn't even make them feel good, right?
Mm-hmm.
And, I know it's hard to get plenty of exercise during the holidays, but just doing something, and we're going to be speaking about that as well. And Linda, did you want to talk about relaxation techniques?
Yeah, so one of the things that I was going to say, even through our Thrive Through the Holidays Facebook page, if people are in that group as well, but if people are has struggling, particularly in this area or any area that we cover today, make sure that you're reaching out to the coach that you're working with, because we have all kinds of strategies that you can use. And, developing, before bed, a specific routine where have a mantra, maybe calming music, light a candle, write down your thoughts before you go to sleep so that you're not carrying it through the night. Um, there's legs up the wall, so you're letting your blood and your heart rate slow. Um, Possibly reading before you go into bed. I would also say, turning off any kind of screens at least 2 hours before you go to get bed. Um, and like today, like on Corinne, your post that you did with the 4 5 4 3 2 1, even something like that, if you're finding your mind racing, you can ground yourself in looking around your bedroom. What are 5 things that I hear? See, 4 things that I hear, 3 things that I can smell, 2 things that I can touch, 1 thing that I can taste. And that really settles your mind, and it takes it off with like kind of the background noise and lets you kind of settle in for a night of sleep.
I love all that. So let's move into nutrition, girls. Since I have trained with Dr. Gabrielle Lyons and her muscle-centric medicine, and because I'm a menopausal woman, I learned the importance of protein, right? Always eating a protein packed meal before we go to a party because it creates satiety, right? And then we can stay in the driver's seat and feel good, right? If we're going places when we're starving, I always say when your brain isn't fed, everything's going down, right? So it isn't you, it's your insulin is in the driver's seat. And that's when you crave sugar or salty or fat or whatever your, choice is. So I always say, head for the veggie tray, when you head into places, whether it's a work event or a holiday event, and get some fibrous vegetables in first. Or we're going to be talking about our healthy martini, our fiber greens and B, or drink a Go Trim shake before you go out. We use this as a supplement to supplement our protein, but sometimes it's just we're busy during the holidays and skipping meals. So, and they have fiber and protein. So, limiting alcoholic beverages. A lot of those are full of sugar, and plan to make quick and easy meals. Always having protein handy. And, I always talk about having a rotisserie chicken. My fast foods have changed over the years where it used to be pizza and subs when I was younger. And that's what I looked at as fast food going through a drive-through. But you can really pick up fast foods and just having protein on hand. It takes me 10 minutes to cook up some salmon, right? And just having those on hand. So you always have something in your refrigerator that's quick and easy or on the counter. And keeping plenty of healthy snacks right in front of you on the counter, having, veggies and hummus, fruits, cheese, and keeping unhealthy things in the bins in your refrigerator if you have them. And because, when we're starving, whatever we're looking at is going to be tempting us, right? So I try to control my environment at home, and I don't bring things home. Everyone's trying to get rid of the plates of cookies and take this cake home because they don't want it in their house. Well, I don't want it at my house either. That's my environment that I get to control. And when I'm out at parties, I get to pick and choose what's worth it. And so I can savor it, because when you find yourself mindlessly eating a sugar cookie that's stale, that doesn't even taste good, that's not a good feeling, right? Do you girls have anything to add to this?
One hack that I say to people a lot, particularly again this time of year when people are going out more, a trick you can do is also check out the menu plan on at restaurants. So many of them have them online. Know ahead of time what you can choose, what might be working for you, so that you walk away feeling good. The other thing is not to self-flog, because again, we are in a time where we're celebrating people and celebrating being together, the connections, and breaking bread is an important part of that. And, developing a sacredness about the way we eat. saying a blessing before we eat. And not when you are indulging a little bit more, don't be hard on yourself. Give yourself a break and know that you can, when you get home, there are different things that you can do to help minimize the impact, as you're sleeping and getting through your night and the next day. And you get to start fresh the next morning.
Yes, and I know two things that I wanted to say as far as like for this slide, um, up at the top where it says like wow at a party. I tell my husband this all the time too. Like we always go to a party, especially if it's a house party, not like a restaurant, but we're going to take something we're going to eat. And whether or not somebody asks us to or not, but it's like we don't know, like every party we go to, not everybody has fruits and vegetables out, or like a charcuterie board with meats on, like something like that. So we just show up with it. Like people are not going to be like, oh, you brought food, like you can we just bring it. And then also with having kids, that is like what Coach Corinne said about, somebody wants to send you home with sweets. We get that all the time because it's like, oh, your boys will eat this. And I had to learn that it's okay, which I think there's a slide later on the power of like saying no, but we just had to learn how to politely say no, like, no, thank you. We don't like to keep, these kind of things in our house. We just enjoy them occasionally. And so people have learned to like start respecting instead of like pushing it so heavily on you. So just remember that with young kids, like you can't tell people no when they try and send you home with it.
Love that. And also ask your coach for our healthy holiday swap sheet because dining out and sometimes can be tricky for people and then they aren't participating in events. You can go out and eat healthy anywhere. Remember, they're working for you, so you can swap out, potatoes for spinach so make your healthy swaps and just ask them if you can substitute, right? So, but we have a whole sheet to empower you with that. So, Lenny, do you want to start with the stress?
Stress is a really big thing for me, and I think in my own practice here, I'm talking about, creating more calm and coziness within our life. And so when we are faced with stress, what happens is it's a whole cascade that impacts the synergy of the whole body, so that it impacts the way I digest my food. It's going to impact the way that I interact with other people, with my crashes. My fatigue's going to be higher. So I want you to be thinking about what are ways that I can get up in the morning, little routines and mantras that I can say to myself, practices with breath work to kind of slow your heart rate down if you're feeling that cortisol and that stress kind of building. There are things that you can do to kind of like breath and just come on down. And then because if the stress hits my digestive system, that means it's going to interfere with the hormones getting to my brain saying I'm going to be okay. So this is a really important conversation to be having this time of the year.
Mhm. And because stress impairs our adrenals and our thyroid function, which is our energy, right? Our cortisol, we look at as a negative hormone because we call it the stress hormone, but we actually want our cortisol high in the morning, right? And our cortisol is intimately linked with our thyroid, which is our energy hormone, and that is impaired along with our digestion when stress is high, right? So when you have high stress, high cortisol, your insulin is high and your energy is low. So it really is not a good combination, right? And we always say stress is dessert spelled backwards. I don't know about anyone else if they have a sweet tooth when they feel stress. But we always say that stress, sugar, and alcohol deplete B vitamins, which we'll be talking about. But what do we do when we're stressed,
Right.
right? We eat sugar and drink alcohol sometimes, right? So go ahead, Lenny, and talk a little
So
bit.
again, so what we're talking about stress reduction, our physical health gets better the more that and the more we practice some of these stress things. So moving our body feels counterintuitive when I'm feeling down and tight and like closed off. It feels counterintuitive to move our body, but the more you move your body, the more that those hormones get to move and get up to your brain to create more balance. Um, the when again the desserts backwards is that that sugar, when it gets to our brain, causes brain fog. So reducing how much sugar that we're eating or pairing it with a fat or a protein is going to minimize how much that's hitting us. Um, Stabilizing our emotions, having an attitude of thankfulness and gratitude. We've learned now over the past several years that gratitude is more of a science than it is this fluffy kind of feel good social worky kind of thing. There's an actual science too when we're practicing gratitude, what that does to our bodies and how that impacts our hormonal health. Um, Being able to focus more and kind of pull that our brain back into focus is really important in part of reducing our stress. Take a breath. There are so many, again, you can reach out to any one of us. We all have different tools of different breathing techniques that will help your brain kind of slow down and help your heart rate will slow down, your blood pressure will come down, and you will feel differently. Being present, noticing things around you as you're walking into a room, walking into the grocery store, ground yourself.
Mhm. I love that. And I also was introduced to this free app called Gratitude Plus. And I love that you can like build a community, like maybe connect with your family, and you just have a place to in the morning or evening write down things that you're thankful for. I know this isn't a time of year where people have time for that, but sometimes that's really just helpful, just thinking of a word, right?
Mhm.
Keep a word as your mantra for the day when you're not feeling your tip-top shape, right?
Yeah.
That also works. So helpful hacks to reduce stress, Lindy.
Again, so when we're talking about the holidays, I'll kind of talk a little bit, knowing, money is a big piece to stress. And particularly this time of year, feeling like the pressure to give gifts, finding things that we can do together, an activity versus having to spend money, being aware of what your finances are, what your limitations are, and what you want to do, and staying within those boundaries. When we are giving gifts, make it personal, make it something that you guys can do together, going out to dinner, writing a note, sharing a photo that you shared of the past year. um, Being organized is really important. Having lists in, different, I think now people are so much trying to file it in their heads. We've got so many of us have tools in our hands where you can create notes really easily, keep that with you and check it off. Um, and this one I would say is probably a harder one for me, sharing the task, asking for help when you need help, being able to say, I'm struggling with this. Can you help me with this? It's actually a gift to the other person that you're inviting in to be a part of that with you. And Ashley touched on this a little bit early, like learning to say no, having healthy boundaries, that I know what I need, you know what you need, and for me to push my agenda on you and not letting other people push their agenda on us. We get to say no. No's a complete sentence. And again, be realistic with yourself. Creating, again, this I can fall into this. What's the perfect Christmas? What's the perfect holiday? I can really romanticize things and learning how to kind of pull that back in and what's the realistic expectation? What can I really do? And being honest with ourselves about that. And I think journaling can help with that. Even writing down a couple of words, this is what I'm going to do today, can be really helpful to kind of control and reduce some of that stress.
Oh, I love all that, Linda. And the word romanticize, that's what really stuck out to me because I feel like I'm doing that this year. I haven't had Christmas in many years, like that kind of Christmas. My daughter's grown, but I have a new grandchild this year. And I'm thinking I want them to stay over at my house and they have the new baby. And that is a perfect word, romanticizing, right? And so I love that. Do you have anything to add, Ashley?
I don't think so. I mean, it's pretty much like with the stage of life I'm in, I feel like I see my mom doing the part with the Christmas and the romanticizing and wanting it, but like our families are getting so big. Like I know on my husband's side, we have 10 grandkids and then everybody's married and then there's the grandparents. And so we've really had to learn the power of no because we're both middle children, my husband and I. And so we have that like we want to be there. We want to be with people. We want to like you invite us, like we're gonna find a way to be there. And so it has caused a lot of stress. And we're like, we'll look at our calendar and we're like, are you kidding me? Like, look at this holiday season. Like, when are we going to breathe? And it does get really, really stressful. And so we've had to like sit down and talk and just be like, okay, ultimately our family, me, him, and our children are the priority. And yes, we want to spend time with people, and yes, we want to enjoy the holiday season. But yeah, definitely learning how to say no and learn like truly learning how to say it in a polite way. Like you're not trying to be ugly. And yes, it kind of hurts to say no because you do want to be there, but you really do have to take care of yourself and your family during the busyness of it. Also, definitely be realistic with it.
I
And
love that.
I think what all of us are talking about really is about communication, being,
Mm-hmm.
being
Absolutely.
clear with our communication, clear with ourselves.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's what, when we have these hidden stories in our head about what it's supposed to be, creates the stress.
Mm-hmm.
I love that. Ashley, do you want to take the next slide?
Sure. I do love movement and I do love being active. I'm actually in a season now where I'm not as active as I was like last year before I had the baby. Even during my pregnancy, I was exercising like every day. But it does get harder, even as you have a baby, as you have a full family. And so you really need to find for your life how you are going to be active because even if it's just, a walk every day and you just try and get 30 minutes and whatever it is, it needs to be personal to your life and it doesn't need to feel stressful. You need to fit it in so you do feel, good when you're doing it. And so I definitely like the 2 to 3 days of exercise, like making that commitment because I do feel like that is achievable, even if your life is crazy. Just try and find like I have different hacks that I do for my life. I do a ton of cooking. I made a homemade breakfast this morning. I'm going to make lunch for my family. I'm also going to make dinner. I love cooking. And so I have different things that I do, like while the oven, if I'm waiting for something in the oven, I do squats or I do walking lunges around my kitchen. Um, I definitely do the park further away, even with my baby and my young children. They've all learned I park far, and this is, we're going to walk together. And even as I'm bringing a bunch of stuff back to the car, we take that time to walk. I make it fun. I make it enjoyable. I've learned like I'm not going to be rushing my life and make myself feel stressed to make my kids feel stressed. It will get done when it gets done. So if we're going to take, 15 minutes to walk to the car from the store, like we're going to enjoy it and I'm not going to make it stressful. And I definitely love like make it active for your family. Just like I said with my kids, like I include everybody. So when we go walks and if my kids want to go for a walk and they want to take a scooter, yes, I'm going to be walking slower, but I'm still going to be outside walking with my kids. So it's just wherever your family is at and just really focusing on the intentionality of how am I going to get my exercise in? Am I going to do like 10 push-ups in the kitchen floor? Like, do what works for you and how you can make it work for the day.
Oh my gosh, Ashley. I love all of that. And that was just reminding me of the Blue Zone series that was on Netflix. And the biggest takeaway from that is that in other countries, they don't go to the gym, right? They fit exercise into their lives, whether it's getting up and down off the floor at all ages until they're 100, right? Because, that's one of the biggest reasons why people do go in nursing homes. They can't get up and down off the toilet, right? So just having movement and fitting it in to your life. And park far away. Number one, your car's going to be less likely to be hit or dinged, which will lower your stress, right? And you can sing a song, on the way to the store and on the way back to the car. And, just take those moments. Life is about the moments, right?
Yeah.
And that movement and keeping our lymphatic flowing so toxins don't build up. That movement is just part of life, as you've been saying, Ashley. So I love, love, love that. Anything to add, Lenny?
I would agree completely, and I think that finding ways that it works in our lives in our natural environment versus again because getting to the gym actually takes more time than when we're practicing things at home.
And thinking about putting your workout clothes on and all the preparation you have to do, or if you go to work and forget your gym bag or your gym bag's in the car and it's cold outside and you don't want to put cold clothes on, right? I can think of all those things owning gyms for all these years and the reasons why people told me they didn't come. There was one snowflake in the air.
Yeah,
So, we make it so hard, and when it can be so easy and lifestyle, right?
right. I think
Okay.
the word is lifestyle.
Yeah, lifestyle. Exactly. So we're creating healthy lifestyles. And so we are going to be changing our thought patterns. So now we're going to move into some holiday kits that we put together, some supplement nutraceutical support kits that we put together thoughtfully to aid in the struggles that people face when they're going through the holidays, which we've talked about, with stress and lack of movement and not being able to get your protein in, right? So, and then, these are to bridge nutrition gaps, aid digestion, decrease stress, and support your immune system. A lot of people get sick during or after the holidays, and it just is a big tax on your immune system. So, the Tis This Season kit, I call this the metabolic momentum kit because protein, every cell in your body needs protein not only for your immune system, but to build and retain muscle, to create satiety. So, um, putting a Go Trim shake in there because people are skipping meals or they're not eating enough vegetables or being able to cook as much. Like Ashley, but Ashley has a passion for cooking. Some people look at, oh, I have to cook, right? So that's where they wait too long, go through the drive-through. So putting together the Go Trim Thin, the Go Trim Core, and a Go Trim Shake to support you in a different way. This is not about weight loss, right? So we're going to go through these in a different way. Do you want to start, Lenny?
Okay, so for protein, the Go Trim protein shake in particular, you end up with 20 amino acids to make your muscles and your hormones, neurotransmitters, and enzymes. And so this particular protein shake has 19 grams of the whey protein and 10 grams of fiber, and then the 24 vitamins and minerals. Really important shake. I actually love this one, and the flavors are delicious. Um, why you're going to use this? It's because a lot of times, if we're rushing around and Ashley, I really appreciated your comment about not rushing because I am trying to be more mindful about how I move through my day. But if a meal is getting missed, it's really easy to be able to make up a quick protein shake. And getting fiber in that shake is really important. So many of the shakes don't have that. Um, so you want a quality protein, fiber to fuel your metabolism. Um, this particular shakes that we have here, we have a lot of recipes that will support baking with these because there's a lot of fun ways to create getting protein. It doesn't have to just to be about, drinking down a quick shake. We can make muffins, we can put it into pancakes, waffles. So there's some really fun things to do with it.
Ashley, are you cooking with our shakes at all?
I am, yes. And I actually get this question a lot with the shakes because I actually keep the vanilla and the chocolate on hand. And I have had, I've tried supplements in the past before I did start Go Trim. And I was weird about protein shakes because people ask me this all the time, like, do they taste grainy? Are they good? And I have had these, so like, what I tell people about these is they're so creamy by themselves. Like, you don't have to put them with milk. I actually really enjoy them with water. But like if you did have, like a fat free or some kind of milk that you wanted to, it just makes it creamier. I cook with them all the time and I use it with my kids because I struggle with getting protein in with my kids. So like protein pancakes, I keep in the freezer. Like I'll make them and batch at the beginning of the week. We have them throughout the week. So it's super good for my kids as well. Yeah, I use them in muffins. I use them in pancakes. My husband goes through this stuff like crazy. So this is a staple in my household, but I do like drinking the chocolate one because it's kind of like chocolate milk. And I cook mostly with the vanilla one.
Great.
I,
My favorite during the holiday, I love to get some almond nog, and I put a little almond nog in the vanilla shake and water because it doesn't take that much to flavor it with some ice cubes, and it's like a milkshake. And then my second holiday one, I love to put a couple drops of mint extract in the chocolate shake with some ice cubes, and it's like a mint chocolate chip shake. You can even put a couple cacao nibs in there. So those are my favorites. Let's move on to the Go Trim Thin product. GLP-1, is all the rage everyone's talking about. And hormones come up over the years that were never known or talked about. And this is one of them that everyone's hearing about. And I don't think people are hearing about GLP-1, but they don't understand that it is a hormone that your gut produces. Your GLP-1 production lowers, sometimes due to stress, poor gut health, and just eating processed foods lowers your GLP-1. So in effect, then you can't you can't shut off the food noise in your brain because of that gut brain connection, and you feel hungry all the time. So the answer to that is this is all of our supplements are supporting the natural processes of your body. So this our Go Trim Thin is not like the GLP-1 shots that people are taking that is a hormone replacement therapy. This is supporting your natural hormone to turn on its own, and so that's where it's going to lower your hunger, control your hunger, your fat metabolism, and your long-term wellness. That food noise is something that people always talk about, and that's where I love that talking about the gut-brain connection. Our Go Trim Core, another one of my favorite products. This is decaffeinated, so you don't have to worry about caffeine keeping you up at night. This one has such a great, we don't have time to go through all the science, but it increases your serum serotonin. This has an 8-week study. It's going to inhibit your fat and carb absorption, so it passes through like fiber in your body. You just take this twice a day before your two largest meals, and it has chromium to stabilize your insulin because we tend to go up and down with all the stress and things. And it actually has been proven to lower blood cholesterol up to 20% without the use of a statin drug. So it does help suppress appetite and promote a feeling of fullness and reduce body fat. And actually the double-blind placebo study, there wasn't a nutrition control on it. So it's going to work when you're going to parties and things like that. It's not like you can have a free for all, but it's going to keep you more in the driver's seat of your health and support your bodily systems and your metabolism, which is our goal. But if you do want to see the science, that's all available on our gotrim.com site. Your coach can send you to. So the next one we're going to talk about is our Holiday Harmony Kit, our Merry Tummy Teeny edition, and that's our NutriClean Fiber, Greens, and Activated Bee drink. And who wants to start with this one?
I love the greens. I add this to a lot of my different drinks during the day because it's really hard for us to get all the phytonutrients from our vegetables in terms of eating. And during the afternoon, I actually do make this drink up pretty much on a daily basis I put in the vitamin B, the fiber, and the greens, and it just shifts my brain in terms of focus, and it gives me more energy. So this is a really important product for me.
Mhm. Love it. And fiber.
The same thing with fiber. Like again, at my age, fiber is a really important piece of it. So when I'm talking to perimenopause and menopausal women, I'm talking about getting 25 to 30 grams of fiber. Again, nutritionally, to get that in my food is really difficult, even with taking the protein shake. So again, I'm adding this into different parts of my day, particularly in the afternoon. I feel more satiated. And Corinne, I love the way that you talk about some of the compounds of what the that make up our particular fiber. Do you
Okay.
know about that?
Well, I do love our fiber. I know there's a lot of fiber powders out there, and people are buying cheap fiber powders. And I just tell people, I just love the way this is put together with 9 grams of non-abrasive insoluble fiber. Some of those fiber pills people are taking, number one, their body isn't breaking down the pill because they have stress and they aren't even breaking down their food. So you really need to drink your fiber. So having the 9 grams of non-abrasive insoluble fiber with prebiotics and probiotics that are going to support your immune system, right? And your gut biome. And then lastly, 1,000 milligrams of L-glutamine. That is an amino acid that is will help you build and keep your muscle, which we want to preserve during the holidays. Protein is our muscles made of protein, and and L-glutamine fuels that, and it's also anti-catabolic, and it reboots your intestinal flora. So I love that about our fiber powder. It's so powerful, and it's probably one of my number one favorite products. I couldn't live without. E-complex.
I'm grabbing this one just because for mental health. I use this in my office all the time with the people that I work with, and I pair it with another product I believe we'll talk about afterwards. But activated B is such an important part of feeling balanced. What that does is that hits our neurotransmitters, and so and if another thing that we really talk about is genetically knowing whether you have the MFTHR gene, whether your body can actually use the bees that you're getting. Now, our bodies don't make bee, and so we do have to get it through our nutrition. Again, nutritionally, particularly in the United States, our food is really depleted. The other piece about bee is that the more stressed we are, the more our body gobbles up bee. So we need to be taking it more during the day than just once if somebody's experiencing a lot of anxiety and or depression. So I talk about this a lot.
Hmm.
Just important.
Side effects of low B physically, I don't think a lot of people realize, like numbing of your fingers and toes, eye twitching. I can usually, see lack of vitamin B in people's bodies. I mean, B1, especially with people drinking a lot of alcohol, low B1 can be the cause of strokes. So that's where people who drink, daily, are low in B1 specifically. But like Linda said, all three of us do metabolic genetics, and we see so many people with who don't methylate the B6 and the B9, the folate gene, and it has a lot of impacts on your body. So I'd have to agree with Linda that this is one of, and because it's water soluble and depleted every day through stress, sugar, alcohol, anxiety, all the things that it's so important for our health. Do you have anything to add, Ashley?
No, I don't have nothing aside from what y'all said.
Okay, good. So let's go into the holiday survival kit. I call this one Calm the Chaos edition. So this one is Go Trim Axe, Daily Essentials, and Digestive Enzymes. Do you want to start with this, Ashley?
Sure, I love these. I take them every single day, and which I know we talked about the B complex, but what I tell people all the time, I'm a huge believer in the OPC3. I am in a household full of sick people right now. And my mom is sick. Like being around people in the holidays, I have multiple times like my kids have gotten sick with like a stomach bug or flu, and I truly believe there's something in OPC3 because that antioxidant that's just flushing your system. And I do take it very consistently every day. And knock on wood, I'm feeling I'm feeling good. Like it does make me feel good. I think it helps flush my body out. It keeps me regular. Like, yes, I take the digestive enzymes as well. But I feel a personal difference. I don't even drink coffee anymore. Like, yes, I have the mocha tonics, which I don't know if we're talking about those today, but I don't have to have it. I don't feel like have to have the caffeine that I'm like really struggling. I just feel like between the B complex and the OPC3, I feel like my ultimate self.
I
Love it.
love it. And four essential nutrients that our body needs, and essential means necessary. If you can't make it, you got to take it. So, like Ashley was just saying, it supports a healthy immune system. She hasn't gotten sick, strong bones. It's filling in those nutrients. We're eating different things every day. Sometimes we're eating the same thing every day. So we just aren't always getting the wide band of macronutrients that we need to give us our minerals and it does support in our weight loss, promoting the conversion of food into energy, supporting a healthy thyroid, which is energy again, and supplement deficiencies in diet, like we mentioned. So, Linda, do you want to talk about the adrenal cortisol thyroid stress?
Oh, you're muted.
Mhm.
Sorry. Um, I got cats and dogs running.
Oh,
So,
do we?
um,
Okay.
I was saying, this is my holy grail in the office. This paired with beak really just has a very, for lack of a better word, magical effect on people experiencing anxiety and or depression. So within this product are adaptogenic herbs, and what that means is those herbs meet my body where it's at. So if I'm way up here with stress, it's going to help me come down. If I'm feeling low, it's going to bring me up. So that balance, and then when I pair that with the activated B, so my body's already to use that, I can get a state of calm and focus that's very different. It helps stabilizes our mood and our emotional responses to stress so that, when you're like, if you know that you're going to step into a more difficult situation, you can take two of these caps. I know that, in particular situations, you can take up to six a day. Again, reach out to any one of your coaches if you are experiencing that, and we can help you how to take it throughout your day. But a really, for me, a very important product.
And I just want to stress as well, a lot of people have heard of ashwagandha, L-theanine. These are all in the exact amount from double-blind placebo studies and the exact ingredient from the double-blind placebo studies. So, a lot of people are, drinking teas and taking ashwagandha and things like that, but they don't understand the quality factor. So when you're taking these in combination in the right amount, Bacopa is another strong one, and then adding chromium into it, which is stabilizing insulin, it's so supportive and helpful, and it's one of those products that really works. You feel it working within an hour of taking it, and for me, I say. That's how it makes me feel because I do go to the higher end of stress, not the lower end as usually. So
Okay,
that's really,
can I add something for on that
yeah.
real quick? So with myself lately, I feel like, especially being postpartum, and I'm not like breastfeeding or anything, so I've definitely started in on some of the herbal supplements. But I have recently gone to the doctor because I was dealing with just a lot of physical, which I have found out, low vitamin D. But I was also dealing with the emotional, like I do have a past with depression and anxiety, and I did not want to be put on an antidepressant. So I was like, I feel like I need to figure out what's going on with me. I did actually start taking that. And I do, because I got to the point, like, I do love cooking. And I wasn't even feeling motivated to, like, it was just too much to even go in the kitchen. I don't want to do it. And then now I've been taking it and I'm excited again. Like, I do feel my brain feels clear. I don't feel I'll go in the kitchen and cook. I'm like, oh my gosh, I get to go cook today. So I do feel the emotional change that it's helping support. Because like I said, I didn't want to be on antidepressants. For anybody who is, you do what you need for your life, but that's just not something I personally wanted. So I did want to say that about Axe is like it has truly helped me just in the past like week start to feel like my normal self again.
I love that, Ashley. And a lot of times when we aren't feeling our best and we just say this too shall pass, right?
Hmm.
And hopefully I'll wake up tomorrow and feel better. And hopefully I'll wake up the next day and feel better, right? And we let things go and we don't say, "Oh, let's just bring something different in and try something new and
Hmm.
see." That's how I was with hormone replacement therapy, being a postmenopausal woman. I was getting sick all the time. I was gaining weight, right? So it's the same thing with quality nutraceuticals. Sometimes we're just missing something or something that could help us regulate a little better because we don't have self-regulation going on at some points in our life. So I love that story. And that's exactly the reason what supplements are for. They aren't a crutch. They aren't, some are filling in nutrients, but those are also supporting our bodily function. So I love that. Thank you for sharing that.
Amen.
That's very vulnerable. So, digestive enzymes, stress causes your esophagus to go into spasms. A lot of people get acid reflux and things like that, or they wake up in the middle of the night, maybe after they've been up too late, or they're worrying about finances, things like that, because your digestion is impacted, as we said, by stress. So, taking digestive enzymes, drinking these, with your meals during the holidays, I really feel is key. Whether you have stomach upset or not, I really tell people to stay away from the Tums, Mylanta. Those are taking away your stomach acid and it's keeping the food in your stomach and it's not going to break down. And that makes you feel worse. And those actually weaken the pyloric valve so the acid can come back up through the esophagus where digestive enzymes are going to break the food down and promote digestion. So you are getting more nutrients in your body. They have probiotics in them. They taste like Gatorade too, so they taste awesome. And anytime, and you can take them multiple times a day. Your body just uses what it needs. You don't have to know what your body is not breaking down. Specifically, my body doesn't metabolize fats well genetically. So, and those fats have to do with inflammation in your joints and have to do with a lot of people with gut health challenges have high cholesterol. High cholesterol is just a buildup of fat in the arteries. That just tells me that your liver is not metabolizing fats. And we tend to eat more fatty foods, but sugar is what turns into fats as well. So, and glycogen storages in your liver, when those are full, that can cause fatty liver. So, we've been talking about preservation of your health. I can't say enough about digestive enzymes, not only during the holidays, but all the time.
One of the hack that I do is I actually during this particular time of the year, we have like the fizz sticks of digestive enzymes, and I keep them in my purse so that when I am going out, and if I know that I'm going to be eating a little bit heavier meal, I'll put it right in my water. And it's a cute yellow color, so it looks like a little bit of a mocktail. So it's easy to carry around.
Definitely when you're at parties or going out to eat and you can't control the ingredients, I always will drink digestive enzymes. And the other thing is, kids get tummy aches too.
Yeah.
And and I love that, they put kids on Miralax. I don't want to go on a tangent with this, but when they have tummy trouble and really they need digestive support as well, even though we think their digestion, should be good already.
Right.
Um, so it's really something you can start at any age. And we all have digestive enzymes naturally, but they aren't always working the way that they should. So, Linda, do you want to start talking about the holiday reset kit? This is what we're coming into. We're starting a group. Um, whole food healthy detox this Friday just to get people back in the driver's seat, give people some energy to get through the rest of this month and the holidays clear headed. So go ahead.
Okay. So again, this is a product, and I find myself saying this about most everything we're talking about, a product that I love to keep on my shelf for clients, just because again, if I'm detoxing and cleansing, doing a cleanse, it starts me out at a baseline of again, my body's um easier, which means my brain is going to be working easier. So this works in two different ways. Well, actually three, because it comes with the fiber as well. Um, but what we have is a hepato cleanse, which attaches itself to our liver and kidneys. And so that removes toxins. You know, if we are drinking a little bit more, we want to really make sure that we're supporting our liver and our kidneys and pulling out any toxins that might be building up in there. That has a direct impact on our immune health and how we're getting through, the colder flu season that we're going through. And then there the release tabs, and it works with our colon and our intestinal. And so when I take those, again, that helps kind of move things along that because so many times, again, if I'm not eating enough fiber, sometimes my digestion is off. And so this just we're taking 7 days to kind of help our body move through the elimination process. Paired with that is what I love is it's a whole food. We're not asking anybody to starve. In fact, if you're hungry, you're not doing this right. You can eat as many vegetables as you want. This comes with a recipe guide, all kinds of soups that you can make. And actually, I will on the Thrive for the Holidays post up a soup recipe that I use to get through. So again, particularly this time of the year, having something warm and cozy, having vegetables cut up in my fridge, hard-boiled eggs. You are going to be reducing how much protein you are getting for 7 days, just to make elimination a little bit easier. I don't want you, and any of the coaches would say to you, don't overwork your body during this time. This is a time of kind of rest and rejuvenation, slow movement, yoga, gentle stretching. If you're tired, make sure that you're getting the rest that you need because you will feel your body moving through the process of removing toxins. People that go through for the first time are amazed afterwards that sixth and seventh day as you're waking up, the release of brain fog and more energy is a very cool experience for somebody going through the first time. I tend to do this quarterly for myself.
I love that. And I just want to remind people too, if you don't have 7 days to commit to this, you can do a 4 or 5 day detox using the kit and save the rest for a later time. So, I think a lot of people are like, oh, I'm going to wait until the new year. I just can't carve away 7 days. So just remember that every day that you're, getting that you're releasing toxins and getting more healthy and supporting your systems, especially your pancreas, liver, and gallbladder. It's going to support you. This is not about losing weight, although some people do release, but it's not about that. Lowering inflammation and things like that. Improving your immune system is key. So especially during the holidays. So um, I call this too much cheer. Some people are going to have too much cheer during the holidays and they're going to be extremely dehydrated. But Ashley, do you want to talk about the electrolytes and hydration?
Sure. So this is another thing. I have so many supplements. Like I love all these products. But these are ones that I love. Like sometimes I drink them multiple times a day. Just because first of all, they taste good. They're like the lemon lime flavor, but also it just tastes. I used to drink Body Armor all the time, before trying these because I did feel like my body was just constantly dehydrated, especially with working out, always on the go. But I can have one of these and I just feel like you can truly feel the difference in how it does hydrate your body. Um, I mean, I don't know if y'all just want me to read through these, but it does, I really do feel like it hydrates your cells at a deeper level. And like I said, you really can feel it. And I highly, highly recommend these to like a lot of my friends who do weight lift. And again, they, just like me, they've tried other products as well. They've tried other kind of drinks, other electrolytes, but these just hit really at a deeper level. And it does support your metabolic energy. Um, it really does replenishes your body. And I mean, I love these so much. So it's really for anybody, even if you're not like hardcore working out and you just feel like you have had a lot of sugar, or like you're drinking water and you just don't feel like, you're like, man, I'm still thirsty. I highly recommend drinking one of these because it really does help your whole body get hydrated and just replenished again.
And some people do get headaches a
Hmm.
lot or more often, even during the holidays, and they think it's from the stress. But I find a lot of times that drinking the electrolytes can also take away the headaches because a lot
Hmm.
of times headaches are from dehydration.
Hydration. Yep.
So I think people, think of electrolytes a lot of times, when people have tummy troubles and things like that, because we think of things like Pedialyte with kids, right?
Hmm.
And a lot of times those have a lot of sugar, and ours just have of salt and potassium and magnesium, which
Yep.
also acts as muscle relaxant in the right amount. So, which kit is right for you? The Tis the Season Metabolic Momentum Kit that we went through for the Meal Skipper, Appetite Tamer, Carb Craver, the Holiday Harmony Kit, with the fiber to decrease sugar cravings while fueling muscle and metabolism, the greens for energy, difficult time getting all of your H12 vegetable servings in a day, and activated bees, depleting them through stress, sugar, and or alcohol. Our holiday survival kit, Calm the Chaos, with the adrenal cortisol thyroid stress to support increased thyroid and help stabilize stress hormones. The daily essentials, foundational nutrition support, digestive enzymes for digestive distress, eating things not in alignment with your goals. And then the holiday reset kit that we're going to be starting this week. With the 7-day detox kit that Linda went over so thoughtfully. Enzymes, we always recommend. So, whatever your body's pulling out, we want to make sure it's getting broken down and removed from your body for stage 3 detoxification, and get yourself back in the driver's seat. And we actually don't have a very limited supply. That's when we're doing in person things and we have these in person. You can get with your health coach to order any of these kits. We are going to be posting the links on the Holiday Hacks page for each of the kits with a little description of it, or maybe the slide on it, so people can look at it. I know we went through things. Fast, with the products, and some people don't care about the science, and some people do. Most people, are just like, what is this going to do for me? And So go ahead and take it away. Let's close this out and come in for a landing. And go ahead, Ashley.
I was just, especially with this page, when the very first thing was like, it's okay to love your food, but don't let it control you. I have read so many books about, I mean, and my personal life, just about the art of food, and that in America, we do live in a fast culture and we do rush a lot and we're trying to shovel food in. But I've really tried to practice for myself and teach people as well. Like, we kind of need to adapt the Paris, like living in Paris mentality of eat slow, enjoy your food, make it like an art. Talk to people while you're doing it. You shouldn't be like standing at the counter trying to shovel food in real quick. Like, make it an art and love it. I'm a huge foodie. So like, sit and eat and enjoy your food, and it's okay to eat at this time of year. Don't make yourself feel guilty. Just be mindful. Don't let it, control you and what you're doing.
I love it. Final thoughts, Lenny?
I would agree with Ashley. A part of my program is called the Sacred Kitchen. So developing recipes that love our bodies and that we can love, and that would take good care of ourselves. And again, within the holiday, cherish the connections that we have with one another here on this, this panel, and the people in your life and your family, looking around, practicing gratitude. Um, that's when we can stay in that vein, that lane of, it gives us different sense of control. It's not about like, oh, we have to control everything with a tight fist, but that we can relax and let life be what it is for us.
Exactly. And my final thoughts are just to stay connected. I know the holidays aren't always, we have highs and lows during the holidays. Don't stay by yourself. Be a part of our community on the Holiday Hacks page, and we have so many tips for everything. You want to say something else, Linda?
Oh no, I know. Took a breath.
I thought you were leaning in to say
No,
something.
just took a breath.
But we have so many great materials for you. But sometimes just book a 30-minute consultation with a coach as well, just to touch base and talk about your struggles individually. So you aren't going through the same patterns. You know, Linda and I always talk about the human condition. We always fall back to our old patterns. It doesn't matter how much you know. We're just humans, living in a human world. But so really, we are so excited to be a part of your journey with you, and we will see you in the Holiday Hacks group. Everyone, have a great day.
Happy holidays.
Happy holidays.
Thanks, girls.
Bye.
Okay.